I know in studying that often people answer the call when they've gone through some life-changing kind of situation that brings their mortality before them. I think it was always with me. And I remember talking to my grandfather, who was the chairperson of, he was the chairman of Missouri Laymen at that time, at the Progressive Baptist Church. And I said, Daddy Lyman, I don't want you to be upset, but I have this call to preach. So he started talking about women in the family who had been evangelists. And he said, baby, if God told you to do it, it's okay. And so in my family, because I guess they wanted to protect me because I was the second oldest grandchild, all the men in my family supported everything that I did. It was I had two aunts that thought that I was going to cause trouble, that never, till the day she died, never recognized that I was a preacher. But the men always said, and my brothers always say, well, you know, whatever you say you're going to do, so we're going to support you in it. So they call me the Rev, so they've always supported me.
Tell me about the women evangelists in your family that...
I had an aunt that was my grandmother's sister actually, that I did not know pastored a church in Holden, Missouri for 35 years, and no one in the family ever talked about it. When I was teaching at Central Missouri State University, which is now the University of Central Missouri, Aunt Thelma came to a Baptist church when I was singing because I was in this concert. She wanted to hear me, and she would sit on the front row, but they never recognized her. And it wasn't until maybe my 10th year in that someone said something about Aunt Thelma's church. So I couldn't understand why they were supporting me, but they didn't even articulate that this is what she'd done. And she was at that church for 40 years.
Wow.
One of my grandfather's aunts was a traveling evangelist, a la Jarena Lee. So she wasn't at a church, but she just traveled around in Missouri, southern Missouri, holding prayer meetings and preaching in people's houses and things of that nature. So it wasn't part of the family script until I said, this is what God told me to do. So it was a very interesting kind of thing. So I don't know why we kept it, well, I do know why we kept it a secret, because women weren't supposed to do that. And they were, again, castigated and covered up and everything else, but they raised me to do whatever, you know, Zora Neale Hurston talks about her mother said to jump at the sun, that you may not reach the sun, but at least you tried. That's how they raised me. And I was raised with lots of boys who taught me to fight and taught me to stand up for what I needed and to still be able to be feminine and be me totally. And so that helped me, I think, in answering the call, but also in navigating spaces where I am often the only woman or the only African American or the only whatever. So that.